Okay, welcome to our Sunday yoga session to wind down the week before the new one. I want you all to sit in a comfortable seated position, crossing your legs over, or if that's not comfortable for you, just taking your feet at the side in a comfortable, loose kneeling position. Closing down the eyes and lifting up out of the hips with inhale, straightening through the spine, looking forward, planting your hands on your knees, thighs, wherever is most comfortable for you. You can turn the palms to face the ceiling, whatever feels right for you. Just take a few moments here in this comfortable seated position to collect your breath and feel how it's moving throughout your body, and set your intentions for today's class. What is it that's brought you to the mat today? Do you want to loosen up certain muscles? Do you just want to cast away some stress? Whatever it might be, focus that as your intention. Remembering to breathe fully and completely, rounding through the belly and up into the chest, deflating from the chest before the belly as you exhale. Remembering to round and draw your navel in towards your spine with each exhale. Just a couple more breaths here in this comfortable seated position. Closing down the eyes if you feel comfortable. On your next exhale, planting your hands down on your right side, roughly shoulder width apart, pressing up and into a tabletop position, bringing your wrists directly under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Inhale as you look up, dropping your belly towards the floor, coming into cow pose. Exhale, rounding the spine as you draw your chin towards your chest, coming into cat pose. Inhaling all the way up into cow pose, looking forward, belly towards the mat. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, tucking your chin towards your chest, coming into cat pose. Just continuing on your own, moving dynamically with each breath now. Working on lengthening through each inhale and exhale as you breathe. On your next inhale, returning to center, this time bringing your right hand to the center of the mat. We're going to prepare for a moving spinal balance. So finding your balance here, inhale to raise the left arm and right leg. Exhale to contract, drawing the elbow in to meet the knee. Inhaling to extend. Exhaling to contract. Just moving with your own breath now. Focusing on lengthening through each inhale and exhale. If you fall out of this pose, just come back in within your own time. Remembering that one side of the body may be slightly out of balance at this point in time. Exhale, returning to tabletop position. Rounding down the left palm in the center of the mat now. We're going to inhale, sweeping the right arm up and left leg up. Exhale, contracting to draw the elbow in to meet the knee. Inhaling to extend. Exhaling to contract. Just flowing with your own breath. Focusing on lengthening through inhale and exhale. Okay, exhale, returning to tabletop. From here, I'd like you to drop your elbows down onto the mat, roughly where your hands were, and walk your knees back to bring yourself down into heart to the earth pose or puppy pose. Drawing your forehead and chest down towards the mat. Just holding here for a couple of deep breaths. Getting a stretch through our upper spine and shoulders. Inhale, slowly walking the feet back in. From here, I'd like you to press back into extended child's pose. Taking a couple of deep breaths to feel how your breath is moving against your thighs. You can rock slightly from side to side if you would like, just to give a massage through our lower abdomen here. Inhaling to press all the way up into downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide as we draw our heels down towards the mat. Can paddle the legs, adding a couple of juicy twists from side to side to warm up through our hamstrings here. Inhale, stepping the feet forward to meet the hands, folding forwards, relaxing through the back of the neck. Taking your arms out wide, coming up through chair, all the way up into Hastasana, hands overhead for an upward salute. Exhaling as you bring your hands to heart center. Taking our hands down by our sides, standing in mountain pose, either with our feet together so that our toes are together, or feet are out hips width apart, whatever's most comfortable for you. I find if you're particularly tight in the hamstrings, taking your feet to shoulder width apart is more comfortable while you're warming up anyway. Inhaling to sweep the arms up and overhead, over Hastasana. Exhaling to fold forwards, relaxing through the back of the neck. Keeping a slight bend in your knees if you need to. Inhaling to look forward for a halfway lift. Exhaling to fold forwards, planting the hands, stepping back into a plank. Shoulders and wrists are aligned. Drawing your elbows in, pressing down through Chaturanga into upward facing dog. Looking forward as you draw your hands back. Push your chest open. Exhaling back into downward facing dog. Just holding here for a couple of more breaths, taking your gaze towards your navel. Inhale to step or jump the feet forward to meet the hands, folding forwards, relaxing through the back of the neck. Inhaling to come up for a halfway lift, looking forward. Exhaling once more, we fold forwards, rolling our weight over into our toes. Inhale, sweep the hands out wide, rounding up, all the way up into Hastasana. Exhaling to bring the hands to heart center. We're going to repeat our sun salutations 2 more times, holding in upward dog and downward dog for 3 full breaths each. Inhale, taking the hands up and overhead, Hastasana. Exhaling to fold forwards, relaxing through the back of the neck. Inhaling to look forward for a halfway lift, straightening through the back. Exhaling to plant the hands, stepping back into our plank. From plank, drawing the elbows in to press through Chaturanga into upward facing dog. If upward facing dog is not available for you, just resting your thighs on the mat to come up into low cobra or cobra, whatever's most comfortable. If you can, coming all the way up into upward dog. 2 more full breaths here. Exhale, pressing back into downward facing dog. Three full breaths here as you draw your heels down towards the mat, taking your gaze towards your navel. Inhale to step or jump the feet forward to meet the hands, folding forwards, relaxing through the back of the neck. Inhale, coming up for a halfway lift, looking forward. Exhaling to fold forwards, relaxing once more through the back of your neck. Inhaling, sweeping the arms out wide, coming all the way up over Hastasana, hands overhead for an upward salute. Exhaling to bring the hands to heart center. Once more, sun salutations, starting with Hastasana, hands overhead. Exhaling, fold forwards, relaxing through the back of the neck. Inhaling, coming up for a halfway lift, looking forwards. Exhaling to plant the hands, stepping back into your plank. From here, drawing the elbows in, pressing down through Chaturanga into upward facing dog. Looking forward, shoulders drawn down and away from the ears. Exhaling as you press back into downward facing dog. Inhaling, step the feet forward, folding forwards, relaxing through the back of the neck. Sweeping the arms out wide, coming up through chair to Hastasana, hands overhead for an upward salute. Exhaling to bring the hands to heart center. Beginning our standing series now. I'd like you to take your hands down by your sides, standing once more in mountain pose. Inhaling, taking your hands all the way out wide, stretching them up and overhead, Hastasana. Exhaling to fold forwards, relaxing through the back of the neck. Inhaling to come up slightly for a halfway lift, looking forward. Exhaling to plant the hands, stepping back into plank. From plank though, we are going to press all the way back into downward facing dog on exhale. Inhaling to raise the right leg, opening it slightly at the hips, coming into three-legged dog. Keeping your gaze towards your navel. Inhaling once more as you straighten the legs, stepping it all the way through to meet the hands, coming into a high lunge. Bringing feet hips width apart before inhaling to sweep the hands up and overhead for crescent pose. Drawing the shoulders down and away from the ears. Just holding here for a couple of breaths. Exhale, turning the back foot out on a 45-degree angle, coming down into warrior two. Tucking the tailbone under slightly here. Do take your gaze over your right hand. Exhale, folding forwards, coming down into triangle pose. Either resting your elbow on your knee if you need, otherwise extending the hand all the way through towards the floor. On your next inhale, sweeping your overhead hand all the way forward, coming into extended angle pose. Couple more breaths here in this pose. Exhale, unwinding through warrior two and into peaceful warrior. And inhaling, step the feet together, hands overhead for an upward salute. Exhaling to bring your hands to heart center. Repeating now for the opposite side. Inhaling, hands overhead for an upward salute. Exhaling as we fold forwards, relaxing through the back of the neck. Bring our abdomen down towards our thighs. Inhaling for a halfway lift, looking forward. Exhaling to plant the hands, stepping back into a plank. From plank, pressing all the way back into downward facing dog. Inhale, this time raising the left leg all the way towards the ceiling. Opening it slightly at the hip to come into three-legged dog. Keeping your gaze towards your navel. Inhale, straightening the leg once more, bringing it all the way through to meet the hands. Coming up into a high lunge. Inhale to sweep the arms up and overhead, coming into crescent pose. Engaging through the legs, keeping the heel of the rear foot off of the ground. Exhale, turning the back foot out on a 45-degree angle, coming into warrior two. Tucking the tailbone under, engaging through all of your muscles in your legs, core and arms, holding you steady in this pose. Exhale, coming down into triangle, either bringing your elbow to your knee or extending the hand all the way through towards the floor. Gaze follows your overhead hand. On your next inhale, sweeping the overhead hand all the way forward to come into extended angle pose. Exhale, slowly unwinding through Warrior 2 into Peaceful Warrior. Here you should feel your breath in the outermost exposed edge of your rib cage. Inhale, stepping the feet together, hands overhead for an upward salute. Exhaling as you bring your hands to heart center. Taking your feet out wide now on your mat, toes turned in towards the center of your mat. We're going to inhale to lift up out of the hips as we fold forwards, coming down into a wide-legged forward fold, grasping for the outer edge of your calf muscles, feet to wherever is most comfortable for you, as you draw your forehead down towards the floor. Just a couple more breaths here in this pose. Inhaling to come up, halfway, looking forward. Exhaling as you turn around now to the right side, drawing your forehead down towards your right knee. If you need to, you can keep a slight bend in your right knee. Continuing to breathe here. Exhale to release, coming back through center. We turn around now to our left side, drawing our forehead down towards our left knee. Exhaling to return to center, slowly hinging from the hips as we come all the way up, drawing our feet in to roughly hips width apart. We're going to inhale, coming down into chair pose, sweeping the arms up and overhead. If you want to, you can clasp your hands to your elbows just to hold you in help hold your arms up, otherwise you can extend them all the way out. Exhale and release, standing with your hands at heart center. Taking a couple of moments here to recollect your breath. Inhaling as you take your arms and up overhead once more, coming down into chair pose. Seeing if you can go a little bit deeper with each inhale. Exhale and release, hands at heart center. Rounding down now through the right leg. I would like you to bring your left foot to your lower calf or thigh, wherever is most comfortable for you. Preparing for tree pose. Bringing your hands to heart center, down by your side, wherever is most comfortable for you. Just trying to find your balance here. Finding a spot on the floor or in the room in front of you that can hold your focus. Couple more deep breaths here in this pose. Remembering if you fall out of this pose, just come back in within your own time. Exhale and release, giving the legs a shake out. Grounding down now through the left leg, bringing the right foot onto your lower calf or thigh, wherever's most comfortable for you. Finding your focal point within the room, focusing each inhale on finding that balance. Slowing the breath down if that helps. Couple more deep breaths here in this pose. Exhale and release, giving both the legs a shake out. Turning on your mat now, I'd like you to ground down through your right leg, and if you feel comfortable, we're going to come into half moon pose. So I'd like you to fold forwards, taking your right hand down to the mat, extending your left leg all the way out behind you, sweeping your left arm up and overhead. If you fall out of this pose, just come back in within your own time. Once again, we're only balancing really on one leg. Exhale, slowly unwinding, grounding down now through our left leg. Repeating half moon on the opposite side. Inhaling as we fold forwards, taking our left hand down towards the top of our mat. Right leg extending out all the way behind us. Right arm up and overhead. Exhale and release, giving the legs a shake out, arms a shake out, whatever's most comfortable for you. Coming down now onto our mats, into a kneeling position, walking our feet back so that they're about 10 centimeters from the back of our mat. We're going to inhale, lifting up onto our knees, hands to our lower back, pushing our hips forward to come into camel pose. If you wish to, you can deepen this stretch by bringing your hands down to your heels. Breathing fully here, opening up through our chest, gazing overhead. Exhale, slowly unwinding, coming down onto our mat, taking our hands down by our feet as we come into child's pose. Tucking the toes under once more, coming up onto our knees, hands to our lower back, pushing our hips forward as we come into camel pose. If you wish to deepen the pose, extending into full camel by drawing your hands down to your heels. Opening up through our chest and throat here. And slowly unwinding to come down onto our mat. Hands down by our feet for child's pose. Taking a couple of moments here in child's pose to recollect your breath. In child's pose, I'd like you to sweep your hands all the way forward, coming into extended child's pose. Inhale, pressing up from extended child's pose into downward facing dog. Taking your gaze towards your navel. From here, raising your right leg towards the ceiling. Inhaling to draw the knee all the way through to meet the hands, coming into active pigeon, engaging it through the thighs here. I'd like to inhale, sweeping the hands all the way up and overhead. Just holding here for a couple of breaths, feeling yourself opening up through the lower back and chest. Exhale, folding forwards, coming down into sleeping pigeon, only coming down as far as comfortable for you. So that might just be to your elbows, otherwise extending the hands all the way up and drawing your forehead down to the mat. Taking a couple of deep, full breaths here in sleeping pigeon. This is a very good pose if you are especially tight in the hips. It's a very good pose for releasing any negative energy that we've got stored in our hips. It's also a wonderful pose to do if you spend a lot of time sitting. Your next inhale, bringing your hands down by your knee. Inhaling as you press up through active pigeon, tucking the toes of your back foot under, pressing back into downward facing dog. Giving the legs a shake out. You'll feel a difference in the legs right now as the blood is released through to your right leg. Inhale, sweeping the left leg all the way up and overhead. Exhaling as you bring the knee all the way through to meet the hands, coming into active pigeon on the opposite side. Inhale as you engage through the thighs, taking the arms all the way up and overhead, opening through the chest. Exhale, coming down now into sleeping pigeon. Only coming down as far as comfortable for you. Drawing your forehead down towards the mat. Couple more deep breaths here in this pose. Inhale, drawing your hands in by your front knee. Inhale to lift up through active pigeon as you tuck the toes of your rear foot under, pressing all the way back into downward facing dog. I'd like you to take 6 full breaths here in downward facing dog. This is a wonderful inversion. Help us slow down our breath. Couple more breaths here in this pose. On your next inhale, raising the right leg towards the ceiling as you bring it. Exhale, I'd like you to bring it all the way through to meet the hands. This time bringing the right hand to the inside of the right foot as you come into lizard pose. If you need to, you can drop the knee of your back foot down to the mat. Otherwise, engage through the thighs, holding your knee off of the mat. If you wish to deepen this pose, drawing your elbows down closer to the mat. Opening up through the hips with each inhale. Couple more deep breaths here in this pose. Exhale and release, giving both the legs a shake out once more. Inhaling to raise the left leg towards the ceiling. Exhaling as you bring it all the way through, foot to meet the hands. Bringing the left hand to the inside of the left foot. Coming into lizard pose on the opposite side. Remembering to drop the right knee to the mat if you need to modify. To deepen the pose, remembering you can draw your elbows down towards the mat to help deepen and open up through your hips even more. Couple more deep breaths here in this pose. Exhale, stepping the feet back, giving both the legs a shake out in downward facing dog. Closing down the eyes as you gaze towards the navel here if you wish. Exhale, drawing your knees down to the mat, coming back into extended child's pose once more. Really feeling how your breath is moving against your upper thighs here. Inhale, walking the hands forward, coming all the way down and onto your belly. Hands by your shoulders. We're going to lock the legs together and we're going to inhale, coming all the way up into low cobra. Couple of breaths here. Exhale and release, coming back down onto your mat. Locking the legs together once more. Inhaling to press up into low cobra. Exhaling down onto the mat once more. Sweeping the hands down by our sides, thumbs pointing down. I'd like you to inhale, coming up into locust pose. Exhale and release. Once more, inhaling up into locust. Exhale and release. Bring the hands once more to our shoulders. We're going to press up, pushing back into the extended child's pose once more. I'd like you to bring your right hand to the center of the mat as you hinge up at the knees, coming into a semi-tabletop position. I'd like you to sweep your left hand all the way under, threading the needle. Your right hand remains tented out in front of you. Your gaze follows your left hand. Remaining here, just getting a good deep stretch through our upper thoracic spine. For a couple more breaths. Exhale to release. Switching the hands over, tenting the fingers of the left hand, we are going to take our right hand, sweeping it all the way under. Our gaze follows around to the left. As we draw our right shoulder down to the mat, forehead to the mat as well if you feel comfortable doing so. Fingers of the left hand are tented. Couple more breaths here in this pose. Exhale and release. Coming into a tabletop position. From here, I'd like you to turn around on your mat, coming into a comfortable seated position. Drawing your left foot into your groin, extending the right foot all the way out. We're going to fold forwards down towards the right knee. Forehead towards the right knee, only coming down as far as comfortable for you. Getting a nice good stretch here through our right hamstring. Inhale, coming up, switching feet over. Right foot into the groin, inhaling as we fold forwards, coming down towards our left knee, reaching for our calf muscles, toes, wherever is most comfortable for us. Getting that stretch through our left hamstring. Inhaling to come all the way up once more, checking both feet out wide. We're going to lift up out of the hips and hinge forwards, only coming down as far as comfortable for you. Inhaling as we come all the way back up, drawing our feet in together, coming into cobbler's pose, clasping the hand around our toes, only drawing the feet in as close to the groin as you wish. Trying to open up with each inhale through the hips. From here, I'd like you to hinge forwards, only coming down as far as comfortable for you. Trying to add a little bit of gravity pressure, not forcing our knees down, but just resting our elbows on our calf muscles or thighs, wherever it's most comfortable for you as you come down into this forward fold. Opening up our hips with each inhale. The longer we hold a pose like this, the more we are able to relax. Inhaling to slowly come all the way up. Drawing our knees in, clasping our hands around our knees for a moment as we recollect our breath. Extending the legs all the way out and in front of us, toes drawn back towards us. We're going to inhale, folding forwards, grasping for our toes or calf muscles, wherever is most comfortable for us, coming down into a seated forward fold. Drawing our forehead down towards our knees. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Taking your hands out behind you, fingers pointing away from you, toes drawn back towards you as you come up into soft pose. Just opening up through your chest with each inhale. Exhaling from here, coming down onto your mat, tucking your chin towards your chest slightly to help elongate through the spine. Draw your feet in, planting them firmly on the mat, palms down by your sides. On inhale, raising the hips up towards the ceiling, clasping your hands under your spine for extra support as you come up into bridge pose. Just stop trying to lift your hips a little higher with each inhale. Couple of deep, full breaths here. Exhale, slowly lowering down onto the mat. Arms face down by your sides. Closing down the eyes if you feel comfortable. Couple more breaths here as we remember our intentions that we've set for today's class. Remember why we've come to the mat today. Inhaling to raise your hips towards the ceiling, hands clasped under your back firmly to help support you in this pose. Chin to chest as you gaze over your navel. Exhale, slowly releasing your hips back down to the mat. Draw your knees in towards your chest for Uttanasana right now. Massaging our lower abdomen with each inhale, rocking gently from side to side to loosen through the lower back. Taking the hands out wide, palms facing down, we're going to take our legs over to the left and our gaze towards the right. Extending the legs all the way out to deepen the stretch if you like, otherwise keeping your knees bent. Just breathing into this gentle supine twist. Inhale, drawing the knees in once more to the chest. Exhaling as we drop our legs over to the right and our gaze to left. Remembering to extend the legs all the way out if you wish. Couple of full deep breaths here. Inhale, drawing the knees in towards the chest once more. When we return to center, we're going to extend our legs up and overhead, drawing the toes down towards us. Just holding here in the legs up the wall pose for a couple more moments. This is a very good cooling down posture. It's great, especially after long drives, to help lower our fluid levels and fluid buildup in our legs. If you've been on your feet all day, it's a great way to relieve some pressure off of them. And it helps get blood flow back and down to our head and heart. Exhale, drawing your knees down towards your chest, clasping your hands around the outside of your calf muscles or reaching for yogi toe lock as you come into happy baby's pose. Just drawing your knees down towards the mat with each inhale. Closing down the eyes, we begin to wind down our session. Exhale, slowly lowering the legs down to the mat. Taking the feet out backs width apart, letting them just fall out. Tucking your chin towards the chest slightly to help regain the elongation through your spine. Just let your hands fall out by your sides, palms facing up. Just taking time here to feel how your breath and energy is moving throughout your body. Where is the breath starting? Is it going straight to your feet first and working its way up, healing each muscle, each bone, each joint as it moves? How is it moving? What is it doing? As you breathe, focus on lengthening through inhale and exhale, trying to extend it for a count of 4, or maybe even try for a count of 5. Each inhale for 4 counts and each exhale for 4 counts. Maybe adding in a hold there if you feel comfortable where you're not inhaling or exhaling. With each inhale, are your muscles beginning to soften and become one with the floor? The hardest asana or yoga pose is to let go. So I challenge you here in this pose just to let go of anything that no longer serves you. Only allowing room for anything good that you want to carry forward. Couple more deep, full breaths here in Shavasana. Allowing time for your body to heal with each inhale and exhale. Inhaling the future, exhaling the past. On your next inhale, I'd like you to bring your left hand to your heart center, placing it firmly on your chest, and your right hand to your lower abdomen, just feeling how your breath is moving, feeling where your chest and lower abdomen are inflating and deflating. Keeping your eyes closed now, I want you to roll over onto your left side. From your left side, pressing all the way up into a seated position as I close today's class. Inhale, bringing your hands to heart center. Exhaling as you bow. Namaste.